Plus, lots of new attention for a poll showing 56% of the country thinks President Obama is a socialist. 56%? How did we get here? And what happens next? Plus, a new all-time low for the president's approval rating. Brand new Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll showing only 43% now approve of the job that President Obama is doing. The economy, the war, and the gusher in the Gulf all weighing heavily on the minds of most Americans. And this could have a major impact come November in the midterms, even though the president is not on the ballot. Radio talk show host Mark Levine is here with me. Levine, thank you, Mark, so much for being here on set. This is exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah, normally you're coming via satellite against Gallagher. Now you're here solo. The 43% is pretty shockingly low. I don't remember seeing it that low, and according to our people, that's the lowest it's been.
It's a tie for the lowest, actually.
What do you make of it?
I make of it that the American people are frustrated. The economy has not improved in the way that people want it to improve. And what's fascinating to me is that the polls show, there's a Washington Post poll, for example, that also came out last week, that while the American people are disappointed with President Obama, they're more disappointed with the Republicans in Congress, because a lot of Americans remember who drove the car into the ditch. And, you know, Obama's a tow truck operator trying to get the car out. He's maybe not doing it as fast as people would like him to, but they remember who caused the problem.
But those polls are all over the map when it comes to Congress, because there was an ABC News Washington Post poll that we talked about earlier this week that said they prefer the Republicans to the Democrats. They hate Congress.
Well, that's
really
true.
The bottom line.
They say they prefer the Republicans to the Democrats, but then they say that the Republicans in Congress they trust less than the Democrats in Congress.
They hate Congress.
They're upset.
You should not be competing against Congress when it comes to approval ratings, because it's not a fair fight.
That's always true.
But the president's numbers have been on a precipitous downfall. And we looked at this chart yesterday that showed as the unemployment numbers go up or linger high, the president approval numbers correlate and go down. And so that's just a battle the president is not going to win until the economy turns around, the unemployment turns around in particular.
You're right. That's absolutely right. That's always the case with every president. Ronald Reagan had very low approval ratings in 1982 when we had more than 10% unemployment. Of course, the economy recovered, and he won a dramatic re-election in 1984. Same thing happened with Bill Clinton. So this is something that has historical precedent. In fact, Ronald Reagan took us 3 years to get us out of that recession.
But people seem to be blaming the president for the economic situation, even though he says he inherited a bad economy from President Bush and so on. They seem to be holding him accountable and not buying his, hey, I'm starting to get us out. Because if you ask people how you think he's doing on the economy, overwhelmingly in the latest polls, they say poorly.
Megyn, they blame everyone. They blame, in fact, the Republicans more. The polls also show they blame Bush more than Obama for the current state of the economy. They recognize he had a difficult time. And, yeah, they're upset he's not getting it done fast enough. I'm upset, too, and I'm a Democrat. All of us want to see our economy roaring out. And the best way to do that is more government spending. And this is something that, I know that you and people like you are very much against, but that is something that builds the economy.
I don't have a position on government
All right,
spending.
well, that's good, because the stimulus package, as you remember, the Republicans cut aid to the states. And by doing that, that forced states, which balance their budget, to have to raise taxes or cut teachers, cut police officers, cut firefighters. That hurts the economy.
But the
we need spending now more than ever.
The argument against that, and some Democrats are pushing for a second round of stimulus that would give the states another bailout, essentially. But the argument against that is, hey, if I live in a state that balanced its budget, why do I want to bail out the people in New York or New Jersey or California who didn't? I don't.
Well, actually, New York, New Jersey, and California pay much more in taxes. It's red states like Mississippi and Texas that take much more from the federal government. But in any case, the reason why is because states have a much more difficult time during a recession. During a recession, less people pay into...
If they didn't tighten their belts, that's the argument from the other side. If they didn't tighten their belts, I don't want my federal taxpayer dollars going to help them. Because it's a bottomless pit. You got states like California and New York that have these unions that suck away federal money. And where does it stop? You just keep paying and paying and paying.
Megyn, there are structural deficits and then the recession-related deficits, all right? In terms of structural deficit, I couldn't agree with you more. George Bush had good times. He spent us into the ditch. He shouldn't have. In good times, you have to do what Bill Clinton did. You have to save money. But you can't blame a government for having difficulty having money during a recession. Tax receipts go down, and unemployment aid, Medicare aid, structurally, the deficit has to increase, and that's why you need aid to the states.
But it seems to go back to how people feel about the current policies, the way they feel that President Obama is taking to get us out of this jam. Because, you know, James Carville, obviously a Democrat, very closely tied to the Clintons, came out with a poll. He did a poll, his group, and it shows that now 55% of those polled, 55% think that President Obama is a socialist. How well does the term socialist describe President Obama? 55% say, well, What does that tell you?
It tells me that people are pretty uneducated. I'm sorry to say that. Look, the Harris poll...
So they're stupid.
Well, you know, the Harris poll
It's the dum-dums again.
Harris polls show that 45% of Republicans don't think Obama was born in the United States. 57% think he's a Muslim. But when they ask people who are educated over people who are uneducated, that number goes way down. More than twice as many people with a postgraduate education, more than twice as many people without a college education think he is a socialist than those with some education.
So it's the dum-dums.
The question is, what is a socialist,
They're
Megyn?
stupid.
No, Megyn, what is a socialist, right?
I mean, do you realize how offensive that argument is?
No, you tell me. What do you think a socialist is?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you the chance to respond. I'm going to give you the chance so that not everybody hates you. Millions of people are watching this right now, and some of them, according to that 55%, think that President Obama is a socialist, and they just heard you call them stupid.
What I'm saying is there's all levels of socialism. If you believe in Social Security, are you a socialist? Then 95% of Americans are socialists. Sharon Engel would be the only one in the world who doesn't believe in Social Security, and I think even Nevadans support Social Security. Does that make you a socialist, or do you believe that the governments have to control all resources, in which case virtually no one's a socialist, including Bernie Sanders?
Couldn't it be a loose use of that term? Because, as you know, President Obama has injected the government much more so than ever before into our health care and saved the auto industry. That's his term, saved.
Less than Medicare. Medicare is a much bigger injection.
But listen, you know what I'm saying? It's the health care bill, it's the auto industry bailout, it's the bank regulation, and people are looking at President Obama as somebody who, in their view, wants to seize control of so much.
Well, I don't see this as government seizing control. Look, if the problem is you don't want government regulation, for example, you want BP to be able to do whatever it wants, you want Wall Street to do whatever it wants, we've seen the results of less government regulation. If you want to say Obama wants more government regulation, I agree with you. But don't use the loaded term socialist. That's like, you know, Glenn Beck or Rush Limbaugh using the loaded term Hitler. That's not fair. It's not fair to argue that point. No one, the most right party in Europe, is more socialist than the Democratic Party here in the United States.
Well, the question is whether that should be our benchmark.
Well, I think the answer is we need a combination of socialism and capitalism. That's why we have Social Security. That's why we have Medicare. That's why most Americans support Social Security and Medicare. I got to get
Stossel out here to debate you on that.
I would love that.
Stossel is not going to agree with that.
Well, he's against Social Security, so, you know, he's on the far right.
But, you know, he's not against everything, as our viewers know. All right, Mark, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Megyn.
Always a pleasure. Well, for complete